That mysterious woman told me that the scary books would be over here, but I don't really see anything scary. Okay, that's a little creepy. Okay, yeah, that was creepy, but kind of wanted to read this book anyway, so I guess it kind of works out. That's what this video is going to be all about. Spooky, creepy, scary reads. Let's go. Hello everyone, and welcome to another Book Talk with Talia. Now, before I get into all of these spooky, scary, creepy, and disturbing books that I have on this list, I just wanted to remind you to subscribe right over here to the Shelf Stuff channel so you don't miss a single Book Talk with Talia or any of the other super cool content that we have coming out for you. So, let's get right into the video. One book that I'm super excited to share with you is Scream and Scream Again by R.L. Stine, also known as the king of short and scary stories and the author of the Goosebumps series. So you know this is gonna be good. So Scream and Scream Again is an anthology book filled with 20 brand new, spooky, scary short stories by a ton of great authors. There is really a story for everyone here. You have the standard haunted house stories, ghost stories, witches and warlocks, shapeshifters, and twist endings that you could not see coming. Around Halloween time, I have always loved gathering up with my friends and trying to see who can tell the spookiest, creepiest story. And with a book like this that has 20 great options, you're sure to do just that. And that was Scream and Scream Again by R.L. Stine. A classic scary stories set that I had to share is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark by Alvin Schwartz. Now, if you haven't read any of these books before, there are 3 in the series, and each one has just as many scary stories as the last. And if you want something really creepy, I definitely think that this anthology is for you. Each book has a mixture of urban legends, ghost stories, and original stories that are just totally chilling and creepy. I'm talking about an evil scarecrow, spiders that crawl out of your face, and a butcher that grinds things into meat, but not regular things. People. The stories are also illustrated, which makes everything 10 times spookier. And that is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark by Alvin Schwartz. One book on this list by a guy who's known for writing kind of creepy stories is Night Books by J.A. White. And J.A. White also wrote the Thickety series, so if you've read that before, I would say the Thickety series is a little bit creepier, but this one definitely has some scary moments as well. So our main character, Alex, has loved scary stories his entire life. He's a bit of a horror buff. One night, Alex decides to sneak out of his apartment, but he gets trapped in a magical apartment in the building owned by the evil witch, Natasha. While Alex is trapped in the apartment, he becomes friends with a girl named Yasmin who is also trapped. Yasmin lets Alex know that she has tried everything to escape, but nothing works. Only the witch, Natasha, is able to free them, and she's not really interested in doing that anytime soon. But one thing Alex and Yasmin realize is that Natasha loves to hear stories. Alex just so happens to be a great storyteller. In order to survive and hopefully escape, Alex has to tell Natasha a new scary story every night. And you, the reader, get to read all of Alex's scary stories, all while you're also enjoying the book itself that's already scary, so you really get the best of both worlds. And that is Night Books by J.A. White. One book that's just a great fantasy story on its own and also a little bit spooky is Evangeline of the Bayou by Jan Eldredge. Now this book definitely had some spooky moments, especially near the end, but if you're just looking for something a little spooky that is also just a good fun read, this one is definitely for you. In this book, 12-year-old Evangeline lives with her huntress grandmother in the Bayou of Louisiana. Shout out to those of you who live in Louisiana, this one is for you. So, Evangeline is training to be a huntress herself, which is basically just what you'd call a swamp witch. It's a cooler name than swamp witch though. As huntresses, Evangeline and her grandma take on the task of vanquishing evil presences. They also get to deal with mythical creatures and basically just keep the bayou completely safe from anything unnatural. One day, Evangeline's grandma decides to take on a huge new task in New Orleans. Evangeline is turning 13 in a month, and this mission could be just what she needs to convince the council she's ready to be a haunt huntress. But when Evangeline and her grandma arrive in New Orleans, something is up, something strange. It turns out that something dark and terrifying is in control. This something hurt Evangeline's family a long time ago, and it might hurt them again. Evangeline knows that this is something that not even a real haunt huntress can usually handle, but she needs to handle it now, or else the world may never be the same. And that is Evangeline of the Bayou by Jan Eldredge. One spooky story that definitely belongs on this list because it's my favorite is Coraline by Neil Gaiman. Now, like I said, this is one of my all-time favorite spooky, scary reads, so it definitely belongs on the list. To start, Coraline and her parents have recently moved to a new house, and Coraline is completely bored out of her mind. Her parents aren't really paying any attention to her, and school hasn't started yet, so she's just running out of things to do. On an especially rainy and gross day, Coraline decides that she's gonna check out the house a little bit more. She's super curious, and she's already checked it out as much as she can, but maybe she'll find something she hasn't before. Coraline ends up finding a key for one of the doors that has always been blocked off. When she opens it, she realizes there's a whole nother world on the other side of the door. The world is very similar to her own, but better. In this world, she has an other mother and father, and they're nice and pay attention to her. They make the food she likes, and all of her toys are like magic and they can fly around. Coraline starts to like this other world a lot more than her real world. But despite that, she can't help but sense that something isn't right. The other mother and father have black buttons for eyes. And one day they tell Coraline they want her to stay forever. They'll take Coraline's eyes out, put buttons in, and she'll never have to go back to her boring regular world again. Thankfully, Coraline is smart and knows that this is not normal. So now she has to figure out how to escape from this evil other world. And she also has to save the souls of the lost children who have already fallen for the other mother's tricks and gotten trapped in the other world. It's just such a spooky, scary, creepy read, and I love it so much, so definitely check it out. And that is Coraline by Neil Gaiman. One book that is perfect for this list just by its name is Spirit Hunters by Ellen O. Now, this book is both scary and mystery. And what is better than trying to figure out a scary mystery? I think basically nothing. In this book, 12-year-old Harper Rain and her family have just moved to a new house. Harper has a bad feeling about the house from the get-go. There's just something about it that feels off. As Harper starts to get more and more creeped out by the house, she learns from her new friend Dio that every family that's lived in that house has had some sort of tragedy strike. And what's even worse, the house seems to be affecting Harper's little brother, Michael. Michael starts to act like someone he's not, almost like he's possessed. And another weird thing, the longer that Harper stays in the house, the more that memories of her past start to come to her. And they don't make sense and they're confusing, but she knows that something or someone is trying to tell her something. Harper realizes that she may be the only one who can save her family from a horrible fate. Another thing that I really liked about this book is that the characters are incredibly diverse. Harper is half American and half Korean, her friend Dio is Jamaican, and her grandmother is fully Korean. So the way that Harper has to deal with all of these spirits ends up being completely original and not like anything I've ever read before. And that was Spirit Hunters by Ellen O. One spooky tale that belongs on this list is City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. Now, based on the title, City of Ghosts, I'm sure you can guess what spooky creature belongs in this book. Zombies! I'm just kidding, it's ghosts. Our main character, Cassidy, is no stranger to ghosts because she almost was one. But thankfully, someone unexpected saved her from drowning. It was a ghost boy named Jacob that pulled her back, and ever since then, she and Jacob have been strangely connected. What makes her connection to ghosts even more complicated is Cassidy's parents, who just so happen to be ghost hunters. Cassidy's parents have been offered an amazing opportunity to film a TV show in Scotland all about the creepy and haunted places there. When Cassidy arrives, she can already tell that things are going to change for her. Cassidy meets a girl named Lara who can also see ghosts, and just like Cassidy, she says that they're in-betweeners. Now, the job of an in-betweener is to permanently send ghosts beyond the veil. Cass doesn't know how she feels about that, considering her best friend Jacob is a ghost and she wouldn't want him to go beyond the veil. But even though she knows that a ghost saved her life and not all ghosts are bad, there is a ghost in Scotland that she's pretty sure needs to go. And that is City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. One scary book that you might have heard of before is Missing Pieces #1 by Carly Ann West. Now this book is actually based off of a horror video game called Hello Neighbor. So if you've ever played that game before, you might want to check out this book. And if you haven't, now you have a video game and a book recommendation courtesy of me. You're welcome. So Nicky Roth is used to not having a lot of friends. His family moves around a lot and he just hasn't really had the time to stick in one place. Lucky for him, his mother just got a new job in Ravenbrooks, and he's thinking that he really might be able to stay this time. Nick's new neighbor is Aaron Peterson, and they quickly become close, playing pranks on people in the town and just having a load of fun. But something is a little weird with Aaron and his family. They're kind of eccentric, and people in the town almost seem to be afraid of them. After looking into it a little bit, Nicky starts to realize that the past of his neighbors is a little dark. It's almost like they're haunted or something, and now Nicky is being completely dragged into the whole thing. And that is Missing Pieces 1 by Carly Ann West. And those are all of the spooky, scary books and stories that I have for you today. But if you're interested in these types of videos and you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe to the Shelf Stuff channel because we are going to have tons of great videos on spooky and scary stories coming all next week. And yeah, make sure to like this video. Don't forget to comment if you have any other scary, spooky stories that you wanted to share with me or anybody else. And I will see you in the next Book Talk with Talia. Thank you for watching. Bye!